Hello, hello, I am Lydia and I am back. If you see movement down there, that's my dog Sophie. She's busy itching herself again. Anyway, I've got my coffee with me yet again. And today I wanted to talk about being an empath or empathy. For me, I don't like calling myself an empath. I think it makes me cringe a little bit. I'm definitely mentally trying to overcome that, or I don't know, kind of trying to figure out whether that's like a me problem or if I really should refrain from using that word. But I just feel like it's been misused so many times. A lot of people who are in fact not empaths call themselves an empath. In fact, it's kind of interesting or weird, but like I have known people who show strong, clear signs of having antisocial personality disorder, also known as being a sociopath, calling themselves an empath. And it's just sort of interesting. I don't know. It's hard for me to call myself that after hearing other people call themselves that who are clearly not empaths. And also just knowing that if I do call myself an empath, people are going to hold me up to such severe scrutiny. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, am I ready to put myself up to that? Not that I'd be going around calling myself an empath, like I'm such an empath, but like just, I don't know, even attributing that to myself at all, it just feels like that's opening myself up to a level of scrutiny that just feels unnecessary, or a level of like attack that I just don't know that I want in my life. Anyway, but that being said, I do feel strong empathy. And the thing is I think a lot of people think that being an empath is a positive thing, or having strong empathy is a positive thing. And in many ways it's a great, beautiful thing. Especially seeing the opposite sides at play in other people, experiencing, people with antisocial personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder at close range definitely makes me appreciate having empathy quite a bit. But also, it is a difficult life if you have strong empathy. It's not fun and games. It's really, truly not. And it's extremely draining. It can be extremely draining. I'm definitely working on myself to be less drained these days. But I don't know. It definitely takes a bit of the fun out of things. Often. So, and what I mean by that is like I have a really hard time doing basic things that other people can do. For example, I have a really hard time watching TV. I don't own a TV. And it's always been this way for me. Even growing up, we were a family who watched a lot of movies. We had a million different DVDs. And I was always the one person out of my family members to just be like, can we do something else? Can we like have a family game night? Can we like, I don't know, like not watch TV? Can we all like do something communally that isn't watching this story being played out that is oftentimes sad and a roller coaster of emotions? Like, it just felt so intense for me. And oftentimes I was just zoning out while watching TV. It was a lot for me. And I still, to this day, I'm just not a movie person or a TV person. And for a while there, I was kind of like, oh, I don't think I'm that affected by TV or movies, even though I didn't have a TV and I didn't have movies, and I spent years of my adult life just not engaging in those things. I kind of over time told myself, like, well, it doesn't affect me that much. Like, I can, like, it's fine. And then when I was homeless about 8 months ago, I stayed with this woman for a while, during my homelessness, and she always had the TV going, like, 24/7. Very loud, very loud. And it's like, of course, I'm very thankful to stay with her, so I'm not going to be, saying anything, but, and it's her house. She can live her best life, it definitely affected me. It affected me quite deeply. And I just say that to say, like, afterward, I definitely realized that about myself, like, right, I am a person who is deeply affected by the TV and by noise and by all of that, and I just, it just made me realize that that's not for me. And that, like, this reassurance that, like, right, and that's okay, that I cannot handle that for long periods of time. That's okay. Anywho, and something about movies really, it's just so interesting to me because, like, I guess I just have a hard time understanding why people even enjoy movies sometimes. Like, I guess there is something maybe comforting about them, but then, I don't know, you're also watching this story unfold before your eyes, and you don't even know, like, what's going to happen on the screen next. And, I guess what makes a good, compelling movie is going to be the fact that it takes you on this roller coaster of emotions to some degree. I mean, a story with no emotion really isn't a story at all, right? I guess even slice of life, like Hallmark movies and TV shows, they are still going to have these plot twists or emotional elements in there where somebody does something or something happens to somebody that is tragic or kind of sad, and it's like that, it just, maybe I put too much humanism in it, maybe I put too much reality into it. But it's hard to watch for me. It's a little too much. And I always thought that I would like going to the movie theaters, and it's like an experience, and we're all going, and it's like this whole, like, it's more of an event, which feels a little bit more special than watching a movie at home. But then when I get there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a sensory overload. Like, it's loud. You are indeed watching a movie. Everything is just, the commercials are just back to back to back. And it's so much noise. And then you're sitting in a room with a bunch of other people. So it's like, definitely not for me. Yeah. Music is also hard for me to listen to. I feel like such a pick-me girl, or like Bella Swan when I say this, but like, I'm just not really into music. And it's like, what does that even mean? Like, even when Bella Swan said that in Twilight, like, I was like, what do you mean by that? You just don't like music at all. And it's like, but I also kind of relate. Like, really? But yeah, same girl. Because it's just, I like music. Like, I can't say that I don't like music at all. But it feels like an emotional roller coaster, and it feels like an overload of my senses. And I feel like those are the best types of music, is the ones that take your senses somewhere else. They're like a sensory overload, or this thing that's compelling, or, even just something that makes you want to dance, it's like, I don't know. It's energy of some sort. And I just think that in itself, the fact that music is energy of some sort, going through your ear holes, it's like, it's sometimes a lot for me. And so I have to be in the right mood and the right mindset to even listen to music. And it's like, you want to have a good conversation with somebody your own age. really, I mean, this probably applies to just about anybody, but you want to have a good conversation with somebody, and, you know, the first things that they're going to start asking you is going to be typically about movies, you know, TV shows, some music, like, what do you like? What do you like? And it's like, I don't like media. Mostly. It's tough. But, you know, I like enough to have a conversation about it, which I guess is decent. But overall, it's hard. Like, I can't just watch a movie on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? And that is an aspect of it. And so it's like, it's kind of funny because, like, I see it less these days, but I used to see a lot of things like, I'm such an empath, or like, empaths unite. And it's like, it's not cute. Like, it's not fun though. I do understand too that the necessity, or that it's necessary to have a community. I do get that. And even like promoting positivity about a community and a space, and you know, I don't condemn those people or like knock those people for making it kind of cutesy and fun, because like, yes, we should unite and build each other up and, you know, unite through the struggle. But it's rough. Like, it can be rough, especially since like that is something that's common that people want to do. You know, you hang out with somebody, they're going to want to watch a movie, they're going to want to, you know, they're going to want to listen to music. You know, you go into somebody's car and they're listening to music. You go into a store and there's music on the overhead, and I can't even tell you the amount of times where it's been like, I'm just having an overloaded day, and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm feeling okay enough to go into a store, to go get my necessary groceries that I need. And then I'm reminded that, oh yeah, stores play music. And it's like, oh boy, like I only allotted the energy for walking into the store and getting what I needed. That's the only energy that I allotted and processed for myself. I didn't process the other added layer of music being played. Because it's a whole nother level of energy added in. And sometimes it deeply affects me, even when I'm trying to play cool and to not let it, bother me so much. It does sometimes, and that's just that. It's a bit much. Yelling is also a big one for me. Yelling and what people say is huge. Like, it's really hard for me to be around situations and people who are talking loudly to one another, even if it's a good, like, positive thing. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so jarring. It's like, I like quiet. I really like quiet, peaceful, gentle, you know? And that's not a flex, because sometimes it's great. A good yell, a good cheer, it's great, you know? The camaraderie of people in unison. It's great, but it's rough. It takes like a lot out of me, and then for the rest of the day I feel kind of like zombie-ish when I'm experiencing a lot of these things. And what people say. If people say something that's just kind of negative towards somebody else or about somebody else, like gossip, hot goss, it's like, you know, playful gossip, but with like a loving heart, like actually a loving heart. That's different, you know. That's okay, we're fun in the workplace, but once it becomes real, and there's like a real gossip involved, real heavy stuff involved, it's like, oh my gosh, like, that, I can't believe you just said that about that person. And that is really, I wish I could just remove myself and disappear and dissolve and become a ghost and just float on as though I never heard that, you know? And at the end of the day, that's that. Like, that's just how it is for me sometimes. And I don't think people think about being an empath in this way. I think for a lot of people, it's like this cutesy thing to say. It's sort of like back in the day when everybody wanted to be an introvert. They're like, I'm such an introvert. Oh, introverts unite. And you're like, I mean, are you an introvert though? Like I knew the most chatty, talkative people. Not that introverts can't be chatty and talkative in the right heads, in the right space, but I mean people who would like literally drop everything to talk to somebody in the grocery store. Having a conversation with the boomer next to them. You know what I mean? Like the type of people that like when they're working their job, being a grocer, they're like, can I help you find anything today, sir? No problem at all. Let me pause everything that I'm doing, go help you walk through the aisles. Let me have a long extended conversation with this person that I've never met before. The people who perpetuate the hot goss, like those people telling them or like posting online that they're an introvert. I'm like, girl, no, you're not. Like you're literally, don't be ashamed that you're an extrovert. Don't be ashamed. It's a beautiful thing to be an extrovert. But anyway, it's sort of like that vibe. There's been a lot of people who it seems like they want to be an empath, and it's like, it isn't what you think it is. It isn't what you think it is. Being a highly sensitive person is not what you think it is. It's kind of a rough living, because it's like, oh my gosh, everything drains you. You can't just like go out and do what you want to, on a Tuesday. You can't just like, your friend invites you over and it's sort of like, okay, well, yes, I would like, yeah, sure. I can get into the right headspace to hang out with you. Yes. But also like, what are we doing? And not like necessarily in a type A sort of way, even though I am very type A, but like more so in like, okay, I gotta kind of know what we're doing, because if you're just gonna like, I don't know, watch National Treasure 2, I'm just like, I don't know if I necessarily can handle watching National Treasure 2. I know isn't that Disney? I mean, I know it's pretty PC and it's pretty like, I mean, it's Nicolas Cage, but I just don't think I'm there. Like, I just don't think I don't think I'm mentally prepared for him to steal the Declaration of Independence and to keep up with that plot line. And I'm talking like even Pixar, I don't know. It's like a little rough. Or just like, okay, like you want to come pick me up, like, can we just listen to absolute silence in your car? We've been going absolute silence in our car for years, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It aids for your thoughts to just drift off. It aids for good solid conversation. People think I'm boring, and that's okay. I think I made a video about being boring a little bit ago. If you want to watch that, if you relate to me on any of this, maybe you'll relate to that video too, because my life is a little bit boring. Being hypersensitive to everything is not cutesy. It's not cute. It's very demure, but it's not cutesy. It's very mindful. But it's kind of a rough living, and it drains you, and it makes you feel a little isolated sometimes, and it makes you feel like you're a little othered, to be honest. And it's a little hard to come up with like things to do collectively as a group or with a friend when they don't relate to that, because a lot of the things that I enjoy would be considered boring by a large number of people. I like a good conversation, but I love to people watch too. And even sometimes people watching to me is so enthralling, dude. And sometimes even that is like, whoa, okay, what did I just step into? I just was people watching. It was a nice day. I saw an old man walking his dog. I saw a little girl skip into the ice cream truck, but then, you see something that you wish you hadn't seen, or somebody's walking down the street with just some sort of energy that you're just like, oh boy, I can't with that today. That's a little it's a little much. So even people watching is a little bit, whoa, a little too much. You know? It's not for everybody. It's not, I don't think it's what a lot of people think it is. Anyway, that's my little rant about being empathetic, highly empathetic and highly hypersensitive to my surroundings. That's that. Don't think I have much else to say about it. If you relate, let me know. Let me know if you relate. And would you consider yourself, if you are highly sensitive and an empath, would you consider yourself boring? Would you consider yourself boring? Because I don't really consider myself boring, but I have had people who are clearly non-empathetic, or clearly, I don't know if that's the right wording, who clearly don't have high empathy or who aren't highly sensitive, say that I am boring. And I'm like, okay, like, I guess. I thought watching nature and watching the trees move in the breeze was enthralling. I thought that was completely, that was, a 3-hour movie to me. But maybe to some that is boring. And maybe you have other hobbies, even though you are empathetic and you are highly sensitive, that are very unboring, that are extremely engaging. If so, let me know down below. Would you consider yourself boring? Anyway, have a good day, you guys. Bye-bye.